Avoid tricky chess traps. Learn common opening mistakes and turn them to your advantage. Let's begin. Let's take a look at the first trap set by white in the open Sicilian, one that can shake black's position to its core. The game begins with standard takes and counterattacks, as black immediately targets white's central pawn. White develops knight to c3 to defend, but black quickly goes for the knight attack, entering what is famously known as the Sveshnikov variation. White, unfazed, pushes forward aggressively, preparing to disrupt black's entire setup. This forces black into a tough decision, eventually leading to the exchange of a crucial dark-squared bishop. To prevent a devastating check, black plays d6, reinforcing their position. Now, at the grandmaster level, the most common move for white is bishop to g5, applying immediate pressure. But here, white takes a different route, jumping in with the knight, and suddenly, white threatens a nasty check which directly harasses black's king and rook. Black must react. Exchanging knights seems like a natural choice, but instead, black retreats, hoping to hold on. White doesn't hesitate, pushing c4, gaining control of the board. Black instead pushes a6, and that's exactly what white wanted. White unleashes a deadly move, queen to a4. Now, if black captures the knight, they immediately lose their rook. On top of that, white is threatening a devastating discovered check. Panic sets in for black. To avoid catastrophe, they desperately place a bishop in between, but guess what? It's a colossal blunder. White smoothly delivers a beautiful checkmate with knight to d6. Now the game is over. A brilliant tactical shot, leaving black no escape. The next trap is another variation of the Sicilian dragon. It starts with 1e4, c5. White develops the knight to f3. Black responds with d6, and then white plays d4. Black captures on d4. Usually, black develops the knight to attack the pawn, and white defends it. Black responds with g6, the main move of the Sicilian dragon, and a trap for white. White then plays f4, the Levenfish variation. If black carelessly moves the bishop to g7, it's a major blunder. Let's see how it unfolds. White pushes e5 to attack the knight. Black captures, and white recaptures. Now black must move the knight, which has only two useful responses, g4 or g5. If the knight goes to g4, white quickly responds with a bishop move, delivering a deadly check. Now black simply moves his king away, giving white a major advantage because of a killer knight check. Black then captures the knight with his bishop, a significant blunder, allowing white's queen to capture black's queen and deliver mate. The game was over. The next trap is in the Scandinavian Defense. White starts with e4, and black responds with d5, one of the common moves in chess openings. White captures the pawn, and black recaptures with the queen. Now, white plays knight c3, attacking the queen, forcing it to retreat. White then pushes d4, gaining control of the center. Black responds aggressively with knight c6, adding pressure on d4. White defends with knight f3, reinforcing the center. Black can continue by developing the bishop to d4, exerting additional pressure on white's knight. At this point, white may feel uncomfortable due to black's strong position. However, there's a stronger idea. White can push d5, forcing the black knight to e5. If white captures with knight e5, a surprising sacrifice follows. White gives up the queen. After black captures the queen, white plays bishop b5, forcing black to respond with c6. White then recaptures the c6 pawn. Now black plays an interesting move, bishop e2, but white has a simple response. Just capture with the king. With this, black's idea collapses and white gains the upper hand in the game. Black responds with a6, threatening the bishop. White plays c7, attacking the queen. Black captures the bishop, but white recaptures the queen and promotes to a new queen. Black then captures the newly promoted queen, and white takes the b5 pawn. With this, the game is over. It's a brilliant and clever sequence by white. Let's move on to another famous trap, the scholar's mate, one of the best opening traps in chess. The game starts with e4 and e5. White then makes an aggressive move with queen h5. Black responds with a natural move, defending the e5 pawn with the knight. White follows up by developing the bishop c4. This is where many players fall into a classic trap. They instinctively play knight f6, thinking they are attacking the queen. However, white simply captures the f7 pawn with the queen, delivering a stunning checkmate. Let's move on to the final trap, the Ponziani Opening Trap. The game starts with e4 and e5. White plays knight f3 and black responds with knight c6. Now white plays c3, entering the Ponziani opening, aiming to control the center. Black continues with knight f6, attacking the e4 pawn. White counters with d4, strengthening control of the center. At this point, black has multiple options. If black captures the pawn with the knight, white pushes d5, forcing the knight to e7. Now, white regains the pawn, and an interesting pattern emerges. All three knights are lined up perfectly. Black then plays d6, threatening the knight, but this turns out to be a huge blunder. Now comes the knockout punch. Bishop b5 check. If black tries to block with bishop d7, white simply captures, and after the exchanges, black's queen is lost. A devastating trap. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more exciting chess content.